Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gamer Disclaimer with Mag and Wade. We are on episode 24, which is exciting. We'll be doing our 25th episode spectacular next week, so that will be exciting for all to see. Wade, how are you, buddy? Pal?
Sick, Meg.
He's sick. Can you
If you hear
tell?
me in a deeper register than I usually am, I guess I don't know. I mean, is my voice slightly deeper than it usually is?
I think that your sickness has gone through to your webcam because you are
Hello.
in and out of being glitchy.
What?
But the show goes on. It goes on. As long as we can hear your lovely, deep voice, we will be
And
able to.
occasional coughs.
Yes.
Hello, baby.
So, besides being sick, anything else going on?
No, it's mostly just being sick. This after we finished recording last week, I woke up with this the next morning, and now it's day 8, and I don't know what, or day 7. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's
Just,
driving me crazy.
just so it's not the rage virus. I watched 28 Years Later a few nights ago, and that was interesting, for sure.
Oh.
You're more clear now. So, um, sweet. Well, I'm doing good. I golfed today. It's great. It's been like 95 degrees or hotter every day this week here, which for us is hot, but for you is light work.
That's a Tuesday. That's any,
It's a Tuesday.
that's sunrise is what that is.
Yes. Well, sweet. Well, tell us about what you've been playing in this last stretch of days.
I actually was playing quite a smorgasbord of unusual and wonderful games. So I finished Call of Duty 2, not Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2, Call of Duty 2.
Too.
It was great. I had so much fun playing it.
Good.
Sad that I had never played it before. Then I also played a little bit of We Love Katamari Reroll, which have you played any of the Katamari games before?
No,
Have you heard their wonderful music? Have I tried to shoehorn their music into you before?
you have not.
Okay. Well, in Katamari, you just roll up a ball and it collects. It's basically you're collecting a ball of trash. So
Yep.
like, imagine that you start out like the size of a quarter, and you roll around collecting paper clips and thumbtacks, and then as you roll up enough of them, then you could roll up larger and larger things. It's great.
Cool.
It's a good fun chill game. And then I also started playing a game that I bought forever ago on some kind of a sale and finally decided to check out called Ninjin Clash of Carrots,
Hmm.
which is a stage-based I'd like I'd like to call it like an auto runner, but it also plays like a side scroller beat 'em up. The closest thing I think that I can compare it to is like the levels in Turtles in Time where you're on the skateboards or you're in the sewers or whatever it is. But
Hmm.
that's like the whole game kind of thing. And you have a dash that you can do. You have mostly forward attacks that you do. You have a projectile that you can throw as well. I might have to have you check out some gameplay from it later to see what you might think of it.
Yeah.
And the last thing, I'm getting a little long-winded on this, but I'm happy that I've been able to talk this whole time and not have to interject with a cough. It bodes well for the rest of the episode. Since I finished Call of Duty 2, I decided to play another game from the Xbox 360 launch library. So I've been playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, and it is also a hoot and a half. It's a great time.
That game's awesome. I spent a lot of time on that one. Very
I
fun.
really get a kick out of the superimposed actual actors in like the video gamey cutscenes.
Yeah, everything
It's
about
very
that
funny.
game is awesome. I like it. All right, well, cool. Um,
What you been playing there, Meg?
so I have been slogging through Clair Obscur. I am almost done with Act One, so that's good.
Are you gonna
And
tell the world that you bumped down the difficulty
I did.
because you're a father?
I just was getting frustrated and didn't want to keep wasting time, so I bumped down to story mode, which is significantly easier, but I don't regret it.
Correction, I take back what I said. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions.
That's
If you
right.
want to play in story mode, you can play story mode.
Yes, and then I have been playing Fortnite. This new season has grown on me. I've really been enjoying that. But yeah, and just been going to a lot of movies and still doing Pokemon card stuff. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm nine cards away from finishing base set 2. So we're getting close to that one. But most of the cards I have left are a little bit expensive, but not too bad. So
Did you see that Sabrina Carpenter from Fortnite is going to have some new music coming out? Isn't that exciting?
I did see
That they're
that.
giving Fortnite people music deals now. That's fun.
Yep, only because of her Fortnite success, right? It's like,
Who's next? Hank Hill gonna have that killer track
I don't know who's next. Well, Bruno Mars is
dropping.
back again, so with his third skin,
Oh,
so
maybe he's got new music incoming. Could be.
it could be. I think he is tied with Zendaya for the most skins. I think she has 3. She has Dune, Spider-Man, and something else. So, anyway. So, yeah. So, we're on episode 24. We've talked about a lot of things. We still have a lot of things to talk about, too. But this is a topic that I have wanted to talk about for a while, and I thought this would be a good time to chat about it. And so, basically, we are going to have a subjective conversation, mostly subjective conversation, about whether or not retro video games are actually good, right? And so, kind of just going to chat about how nostalgia plays a part in that. How well, just a lot of different things. We haven't talked about any of the subtopics, but objectively speaking, from like a graphical standpoint, Super Mario. Well, let's just say the Mario Kart world graphically is better than Super Mario Kart, right? But there are a large group of people, and one of the people that I've been hanging out with lately is a big fan of like the stuff from the 80s. So he is talking to me about the Atari, and he was like loving. We went to a video game store, and he was loving all the Atari games. Like, oh, this game's so fun, and this game's so awesome. And it's just like, I never really played games on Atari, but I know they were very simple and very just simple, right? And some of them were good, I guess. But it's like, are those games actually good, or are we just nostalgia hunters and other things? So we're gonna just have a little chat about whether or not retro games are actually good. And so, Wade, I'm gonna kick it over to you and just get your initial thoughts, or you can steer the boat for a minute to what you're
Steer the
thinking
boat.
about.
Yeah, right. We're just gonna throw caution to the wind and let this conversation go in all of the wrong directions.
Sure.
First things first, I will say that your favorite music, movies, television, video games, probably like books as well too, if that's a thing that you're into, if you like reading, was determined in your formative years of growing up. So when you talk about nostalgia and weaponized nostalgia or whatever it is, at a certain point, you found a thing that you really liked, and you're probably always going to like it forever, no matter what. And that does happen at a certain point in time. So then, what of the things that came out before your favorite thing? And what of the things that come out after your favorite stuff? Um, I would say it's likely that there's going to be elements of the things that you have nostalgia for in things that you like that may be even older or that are still coming out today that have, elements of that. Does that make sense? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that I was thinking about bringing up is like, I think that to answer the question subjectively, are retro video games actually good? Yes, some of them are. Um, I think that a lot of the older games, like for us, like we're not that old, but I've been playing video games since like Genesis, Super Nintendo. You've been playing a little bit before that. And so we kind of are like into the gaming at its inception, minus Atari and things like that. But I think that you can say, maybe from an objective standpoint, that like the game of some of the old games have the building blocks that the games that are being put out currently are like still built on, right? They're foundational pieces. So things like, Metroid and Castlevania, like a whole genre of Metroidvania is based on those games. Now, are there games that have come out since that are potentially like quote unquote better than those games? Like probably, right? But without those games existing, we wouldn't be getting the games that we're getting now, right? And so you can still go back to the original Super Metroid. You can go back to the OG Castlevanias, and they're still good games because they are made of the core and the guts of like they are the core and the guts of said genre. You know what I mean?
If
So
the
that's
bones are good.
yes,
If the bones are good.
exactly. And so, like my favorite game is Sonic 2, right? And so are there 2D action side-scrolling platformers that have come out that are probably like better than Sonic 2? I mean, sure, there's innovation and things of that nature, but at a core level, and same with like Super Mario Bros. Like those games, if you pick them up and play them now, are still good games, right? They still have the components of things that are fun. They're like a catchy song, and like you hear it and you're like, oh yeah, like that was a good song, and it's in your head. I will say, pivoting a little bit, that
You said yes. It's too late. You said they're good.
well, what I will say is that I think that nostalgia plays a pretty big part in a lot of it, though, because I think that there are some games that you and I have connections to because of nostalgia, but they're actually like not very fun games. And so my example of that is like when I was playing like Sega growing up, I had this like Pink Panther Goes to Hollywood game, and like I played it a lot, right? But like I tried to pick that game up and play it again like a year and a half ago, and I was like, dude, this game kind of sucks. Like like I was like, this game is like not very fun. Like it's super frustrating. The platforming is trash, and like there's no direction. And so I was just kind of like, I think that there are some games that are old that nostalgia, like maybe like Halo 2, it's like, oh, like, but Halo 2 is still like a great shooter. Like the gun mechanics and the first person, like it's still good today. But then there are other games that it's like, oh, I'm going to pick up this game and buy it because I used to play it a ton when I was a kid. And then you turn it on and you're like, dang, this is like not that good. You know what I mean? And so I think nostalgia can be a dangerous trap with some of that stuff.
Well, I think the textbook example is GoldenEye for the N64 is completely unplayable if you try and pick it up today.
Yeah.
Just like how do you move? How do you do any of these things? Like just misery when it comes to that. Um, I wanted to have a discussion with you, sidebar discussion to the main discussion. Like I said, just the boat is rocking, the waves are crashing, the winds are blowing. What is retro these days? Because at the top of the call, I said that I was playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I believe turns 20 this year.
Mm. I don't know.
So if a game is 20 years old, is it retro at that point?
See, like, it's a great question. Because to me, like, I was thinking of, like, like I used to play a lot of, like, Amped 2 because it came with the Xbox. And I loved that game. And I still think it's fun to this day. But I don't think I wouldn't have thought of that as a retro game. But, like, I think it's just like a matter of time. Like, to me, retro is like N64 and back. But, like, I think at a certain point, like, Xbox, PS1 are going to, like, or, like, Xbox, PS2, GameCube, are going to be considered retro. And then I think maybe you'd go like NES and back, or even like Genesis and back, then become like super retro. You know, like
That's just your age showing, Mag. Like that was just the year 2000. That's apparently where your cutoff is.
okay, it's been decided. What do you think about
Well,
that?
that's where your cutoff is.
Well, yeah. What do
I
you
don't.
think?
I just thought that that was a very interesting comment. I mean, I feel like any game that came out before Grand Theft Auto 5 is retro at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
Yep, that's what I've decided that the cutoff is.
Hmm.
Grand Theft
So
Auto 5, the first time it came
so
out.
2013 and back, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just think of like there's a lot of games that like, like you said, like we used to play them when we were like younger, and like it's almost like we were blinded by like how frustrating and difficult they were.
Well, I mean, we're on the cusp of the Steam summer sale ramping up right now, where we are gluttonous with choice for games to play. You played that Pink Panther game so much, Mag, because it's the game you had. That's why you played it.
Yeah, that's probably true. But like I still think though, I think that you can look at a game objectively, right? And not having emotion or nostalgia as a part of it. And you can say, hey, these are like good games, but where it gets tricky for me is like, I look at these countdowns of like top 100 greatest video games of all time, right? And you have like Chrono Trigger and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, right? But like, I don't think you can convince me that like Ocarina of Time is a better game than like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, those games are like just better versions of that game, and it almost like not like makes me
It's an
mad.
apples to oranges comparison. Like it's really not a fair comparison through the lens of
Uh oh.
yeah, through the lens of what they were at the time that they came out. Like it's different to you keep saying objective and subjective and all of these wonderful little buzzwords, but like at the time that we'll keep coming back to Goldeneye because it exists. Goldeneye was the hottest of the hotness when it was out, and now it is completely unplayable.
But is it a
However,
good game? Like that's the question.
hmm,
Is GoldenEye a good
was
game?
so your question is, was Goldeneye a good game, or did we only think that it was a good game because it was the game that we had at that particular point in time? Can a game be good and then in the future not be good?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Are they actually good? Right? Because it's just like yeah, like GoldenEye at the time when there was no other first person shooters out like it, it was like, wow, this is like a groundbreaking game, and it's like this is incredible. I hold R and now I can aim with my joystick, and whatever, but I'm standing still. But now like first person shooters are so much better that when you go back to play that game, like you said, it's literally unplayable. So that's like that makes it to me like a bad game. Am I wrong?
Um, I well, no, you're not wrong, you're not right. We're just having a discussion. I think back to I forget the like one of the first games that had the dual analog stick for movement and aiming. You know what I mean? You know, your standard left stick moves and your right stick
Mm-hmm.
moves your head around. I think it was like an Aliens game or an Alien versus Predator game. And the reviewers at the time were like, this is the most difficult control scheme ever. So obtuse. Like they didn't know what to do with it. So, things change over time. If we're likening it to eras of music, like the 80s were super heavy on the synths. What was a defining characteristic of music in the 90s? Was it just like super heavy sampling? I mean, music was sampling for the longest time. But like you kind of get a feel for genres of games. Like there were first person shooters before we had the twin stick movement that we all use now, and after. There's not like that. There's a strong line in the sand as to this is how things were before and this is how things were after. Does that mean that games that were first-person shooters that were using that before that had been discovered were good at the time, but are no longer good anymore. It's tough to say. You did the best with what you could do at the time. I I think I may have mentioned before that like I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on the PC with a keyboard, holding one hand, my left hand over the directional arrow keys, and my right hand over the number pad, because that was apparently how you were supposed to control that game. Was that the optimal way to be playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2? Probably not, but it was the option that I had available to me at the time. And is it much more fun to control your character doing manual or balancing themselves while they're grinding on a rail with an analog stick versus buttons? Yeah, absolutely. Like that's a much better way to be going about this. Maybe what I'm trying to say, Meg, is just like as the genre of video game as video games have innovated, there are elements of older video games that may feel a little archaic just because these newer systems had not yet been discovered. Blech.
All right. I'm going to throw something at you, and you can let me know what you think about it.
Maybe throw a cough drop at me or something.
So I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that I completely disagree with you, but I do believe that you can use some examples to say to give evidence that some old retro video games are actually good versus others maybe not so much. So you look at Shredder's Revenge, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, right? That game is basically created the same way and in the same light as Turtles in Time, which was from the Super Nintendo. It just has upgraded graphics, but the core, like the gameplay, is exactly the same. You take Super Mario Wonder, right? You've added a few different power-ups. You've given it a really nice frame rate, a really nice splash of paint, but it is a 2D side-scrolling Mario game, right? So it's like, I look at games like that, where they are like, or like 20XX and 30XX, right? They're a roguelite, but it's like Mega Man style, and it's the same exact control scheme as Mega Man X. So like
Mega Man 9, Meg.
Well, yeah, Mega Man 9 is a retro remake, right? They remade a game in the style of those games. So that to me is like some objective proof, being like facts, not just opinions and feelings, that they are recreating games that have been successful in today's age, and they are literally the same game with the fresh, like the same game mechanics and pretty much the same game, 75% the same game with a new coat of paint.
I think they've made Star Fox 4 times where it's just the same thing to varying levels of success.
Yeah.
Where I think Star Fox 64 is probably the most beloved. Star Fox Zero, I'm fairly certain, again, I didn't play it, but like same sort of situation as always. Like,
so that's what I'm saying though, is like I think that you can take a look at that and say, okay, like those games are good, like those retro games are good, like Super Metroid and like things like of that nature. I think that you can look at that, like I'm not trying to get too technical with words, but I think you can look at that objectively and say, okay, my feelings and nostalgia aside, these are actually good games, even though they are 30 years old, right? But I think the trap, because I've had so many people talk to me like, oh yeah, like I had this, oh I remember this game, I had this one, and it was like, that was so much fun, and then like I watched gameplay of it, and I'm like, this looks terrible, and I think that's like the cloud of nostalgia, and I would argue that to that person on a subjective level, that's a great game. But I think if you're looking at it, it's probably not a great game. So I would say, like, encompassing the conversation, or not that we're ending it, but I think that you can say, hey, some of these old games are good, right? But some of them also are not good. They just like you have nostalgia, which is tainting your view, like a GoldenEye. It's like, oh, I remember playing that game with we play 4-player split screen, and it was awesome, right? But it's like, yeah, that was a fun memory for you, but that game is terrible. Like it's unplayable at the moment, or like. But then I think you can go in the same conversation and say, hey, I remember having like Halo LAN parties and like Halo 2, and then you look at Halo and they remade the Master Chief Collection and gave those games a fresh coat of paint, and you can play them in their original form with an updated frame rate, and they are like still good. So I would say like there is a difference between good retro games and good retro games and I love this game because of nostalgia and I think it's great, but it's actually not a great game.
I'm trying my best, and I don't know because everybody's experience on this wonderful world that we live in is going to be unique. So I'm trying to think of a situation where your world isn't tinted with rose-colored nostalgia glasses looking back on these things, but there was a retro game that you just never played, isn't being remade anymore these days, and you were to go back and really enjoy. And of course, I'm drawing a blank on this right now because I don't know what you have played and what you haven't played. Even trying to think of an example for myself, I'm sure I've just already forgotten that at one point in time I had never checked it out. I will say, because I mentioned it at the top of the call, Katamari Damacy, or We Love Katamari, or whatever it is, countless times I saw this game sitting on the shelf for the PS2 games that we sold at the store. And I'm like, what the heck is this game? And then finally, a version of it came out for the Switch, and I picked it up, and I was like, this game is so much fun. Why did I never play this before? Like, how many years of my life have I wasted not knowing that Katamari is as amazing as it is? And then I finally was able to check it out and play it. And that game, again, the very first one that came out for the PS2, not a whole heck of a lot has changed. It has always been a game about rolling around a ball and picking up all kinds of debris as you're going around. They got it right the first time, and they've just been doing slightly different things with it ever since.
Yeah. So let me, before we close the conversation, because we're doing good time wise. So okay. So I think Phil, we've kind of talked about NES, we've talked about SNES, Genesis, N64, Xbox. So this is something that I have a hard time with, and like this is maybe just like me showing my age again, but in the other way. When I look at like Atari games and games like pre-NES, like on different consoles like that, like a Pong or like an Asteroids or a Space Invaders or Centipede, like, or Galaga, like stuff like that. Like that to me is like I'd say like extra retro, but like, are those good games? Like
there are a lot of bad Atari games, Meg.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like everybody like I know like I've seen like at the movie theater they have an extra large like Space Invaders, and it's like the same exact game as the original, just like updated. So like, but I just kind of look and I'm just like, okay, so like those games are just like so simple, like Pong, right? Is Pong a good game? Like it's literally
it's an innovative game.
It's things and it's just ping pong. It's just two sticks and a ball going back and forth. So like, is Pong a good game, or is it just
is Mario Tennis a good game?
Well, sure.
Well, it's just the ball going back and forth between two characters. What are you talking about?
I agree. I mean, I don't. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like these games, like, and there's some. I would argue that like, even though they are simple. And objectively, they are just very, like, bare bones, a lot of them. They are still good games. Like Centipede or like Galaga. Like a whole genre of games still coming out that was kind of...
You were just dunking on Space Invaders, but you think that Centipede and Galaga are good?
Well, I'm not saying Space Invaders is bad. I'm just saying, like,
okay.
Like... I'd never played it, but like the guy I was hanging out with was like, oh, like I remember playing boxing on Atari, and I don't know what that was like, but I was like, is that like a good game, or is that a fun game for him? And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
So I will say, you recently realized that you apparently are still subscribed to Xbox Game Pass. If you would like, you can take 30 minutes, and with your Game Pass subscription, there's this thing in there that they added recently called Retro Classics. And
Okay.
because Microsoft purchased Activision, a lot of Activision's output on the Atari 2600 is present in this Retro Classics. So Pong is not in there, but you can play. Um, there is a tennis game which is not like Pong. It's a vertical tennis, more like up and down kind of thing. They also have what was I playing recently? Like there's a game where there's a like a Burger Time game. There's also a game where you're like on the roof of a building and you're pushing down pots, like flower pots, to crush spiders.
Hmm.
Um, and then the other one that I was thinking of was there's one where you're like a chicken crossing a road, but it's kind of like Frogger, I guess, like a Frogger like. But you can check them out and play them, and they added a lot of different elements to them with this Xbox release. Of like there'll be challenges, so it's like high score challenges, and you can see where you rank on the global leaderboard for all these kind of things. And they have little daily things that you can do to get rewards, which I've been doing on the daily, and I do not like a lot of these games. I wouldn't even consider them good games. But
Hmm.
then I'll go on YouTube and look up a video of somebody like trying to rack up a high score for this thing, and it's like they love it, you know. They're like, "Oh, I haven't played this in forever." We didn't really get into it much, but if we were talking about video games before and after they figured out this is how we're going to move in a 3D space from now until forever, as far as like first person shooters are concerned. Um, that era of where games were meant to take your money because they were set up to be a very arcade style thing, to where games didn't necessarily have to be that anymore. Thinking back to, a lot of those old Castlevanias and whatnot, where it's just like the game was just trying to kill you as often as possible to make you take longer for you to beat the game or for you to pump more quarters into it to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if like I said, you can check out Retro Classics, and I do feel that like I don't know if I have found a single Atari game in that collection or that I've ever played an Atari game that I would be like, this is a good game. But that might just be the era that I was born in. And the thing, like, I don't think that once I came of age to be playing video games and these are the ones that I liked, that's when they became good, right?
Yeah. I just don't have enough experience with like older retro games to be able to have a full opinion on it, but I was just going to throw that
Last
out.
last night, Chewy on stream was playing Final Fantasy 2 in the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster collection or whatever it was. And I told him that he needed to check out Clair Obscur Expedition 33, but I told him no rush because you've got Final Fantasy 2 and obviously you're having a great time with this. So who
Yep.
am I to say?
Claire
Enjoy
Claire
your
Obscura
time.
Expedition 33 is a great game. No debating. All right. Well, those are our thoughts. Let us know in the comments um, what you'd like, to the games you like. Or is it nostalgia? Are they good? If you agree with us, disagree, tell us. Tell us all. Also, I want to give a shout out to all of our people who comment every week. We appreciate y'all. Next
I
on our
assume that they're just using that as their YouTube watch history. It's like, oh, if I left a comment on this one, I've definitely already seen it.
Yes. So we will give you shout outs next week in the 25th anniversary. Um, so I do actually have a song of the week this week. Bringing that back as well. But we're going to play our games first before we do that.
Let's
So
go.
we're going to go over to Game Dole. And I'll bring it onto our main screen here. And I need to share this with Wade. Whoops. Share your screen. Boom. All right. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right, here we are. And this lady is cleaning her back. She has
Get this lady out of here.
she has itchy back syndrome.
Close that ad.
All right, so we're gonna do a few of these here. Boom. This is a game cover. Average guess is 1 attempt.
So this is a relatively new game that I don't exactly know the name of, but it's like I feel like it starts with an I and it's like 6 letters long and it's like a samurai kind of game. So like type Way, W-A-Y. Like why do I feel like there's a Way of the Samurai or something? It's not Way of the Samurai.
All right.
Keep going down.
That was it.
What? It doesn't go any further than that?
That's it.
Okay, then it's definitely not that. All right, so start typing like I R A.
It's not it. I'm skipping.
Okay.
All right. Boom.
Terrible. And that's not giving you anything more. I know what this game is, but I don't know the name of it. I've seen this box art before.
I don't know what it is.
Skip it again. It's like Aishi or something. I just don't know how to spell it. See, there's a samurai. Put in Yakuza for kicks and giggles so it can tell us that we're in the wrong series. Keep
Like
going.
a
No, not
pirate.
that one. Not that one. No, not that one. Not that one.
Correct franchise and saga.
Oh my gosh, it is that. Go back. So type in Yakuza again. Let's scroll down.
Is
Why
it
do I...
like a dragon?
I think it's a Yakuza game that doesn't have Yakuza in the title, apparently. Go back up. No, it's not that. It's like Aishi or something. You could try Kiwami, but it's not Kiwami.
I'm gonna do.
Maybe just go dragon. And maybe it'll come up then. Like a dragon.
Oh, it's on there.
Like a dragon.
Like a dragon.
No, not that one. No. Type like a dragon.
Infinite wealth.
No, Aishi, the second one.
Inshi.
Inshi.
Wow, I had no clue. There he is.
That's the word that I was trying to say this entire time. 6 letters,
Ishin.
starts with an I.
Ishin. All right, Wade gets the first one.
After 4, terrible.
I know this one.
Yeah, well, I don't know which one it is specifically. Is it just Street Fighter 2 or is it Super Street Fighter 2?
This is Super Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
Bam, 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 bam. I love it. That's Mega Man's song,
Nice.
but all right. Is that a split or is that a mag?
You can have that one. I
Alright.
didn't know. I don't know which one I would have guessed.
Character. This is a new one.
Who was this? There's some zooming. Is there some zooming to do?
This looks like the chick from Near Automata or whatever.
2B?
What's her name?
2B. The number 2.
2B. Lame.
She's not in there. I can almost guarantee we dunk on JRPGs all the time. They love to put some PC nonsense that we've never heard of in here before.
Yeah.
That's their favorite.
All right, I'm skipping it.
So this is definitely a Final Fantasy character. Let's go with
Is it
that. Let's go with
Jinx? From
Jinx. That's who you think that she got some of that going on?
I'm gonna guess it, and then you can guess the next one.
Okay. I don't know what those gloves are specifically. Is this like... It's not Bayonetta. Gimme... Just type lady
Lady.
from Devil May Cry.
Oh,
Heyo!
it is! Nice. All right. I've never seen that lady in my life.
I was ready to guess some Final Fantasy characters. I was going to go with that.
I would
but
never have got that.
Apparently, just from that glove, I knew that this was lady, apparently.
All right, so you're up 2-1. So we have Maze, Horns, Cage, and Shadows.
It's Pac-Man. It's not Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Windmills, hand-holding, fixed camera, minimal UI.
All right, I know it now.
Do you actually?
Yes.
Let me think if I have any idea of what it might be. Horns, cage, shadows, windmills, hand holding. I don't know. Tell
I
us.
as in India. C as in Charlie. O as in October.
That's it.
Eco.
Eco. There's the windmill, dude.
And his horns.
And his horns. Are those real horns or just a cap?
I think it's a hat.
All right. You're the goat. You beat me.
Meow, 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 meow.
Video game grid. Boom. Immaculate video game grid. All right. We've been here. All right, let's take turns.
Oh,
you go, then I'll
you
go.
better-
Then you go, then I'll go.
Okay,
And
I
if you
want to
don't
make sure
know
you
it-
get the bottom one down there.
Do you know this one?
Yeah, that's Unravel 2.
It is. Boom. Nice. All right, next one. This is
The
Overwatch
controls are so
2.
obtuse in this.
I know.
Are you sure?
Yes. All right. What about this guy here?
What's the year that thing says?
2002.
2002. Oh, it's just Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime. Boom. All right. Next one. Whoops. This looks like Persona 5, I think.
That 2016, does that line up?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's the beginning scene.
Hey, yo.
He's up there. What's his name? Joker.
Joker.
The Joker. All right, let's see this one here. Do you know this off of one?
Do you?
I think, is this Cult of Lamb?
I don't think so. What is it? Oh my gosh, what is this nonsense?
I have no clue, man.
I also have no clue. And it's one short word, apparently.
All right, let's skip it. Let's see the next one. Who's that guy?
You don't know that guy? Because you don't play Souls games.
Is this Sekiro? Shadows Die
it sure
Twice?
is. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Nice. Is this the bottom one you were talking about?
No, the next one is the one I was talking about. This is like a StarCraft or a Warcraft or
I'm
Fallout.
pretty sure this is Fallout
Just
2.
Fallout. Yep, Fallout 2. You're right.
Look at how far they've come, man. These are like a lot different back in the day.
Right. Oh, you're on your own for the next one. Good luck.
Oh, what could it be? I don't know. I talked about it on the show today. Do you know this one?
Yeah, it's Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah. I have that
That's
game.
another game that had super obtuse third-person shooter controls, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Trying to N64 it up.
Sweet game.
All right, go to the other one.
What
I
is
have
this
no idea.
game? 2017? Jodreel?
Got me, man. I don't even know what kind of game this is.
Is
Like
this
RTS?
Quest?
Or,
Wasn't that a game back in the day?
I think you're hung up on Quest 64,
Quest.
which this is definitely not.
No, it's not.
Or Chex Quest.
I don't know what this game is. Do you have any clue?
No. I seriously, I don't even know if it's like a visual novel or we got that one bit of dialogue. Like this looks like an RTS kind of situation. I mean, it's not Cult of the Lamb because that's more than one word. Just hit the give up and we'll bring it on home, I guess.
Pyre?
Pyre. Okay, so Pyre is the same fine folks that made Bastion and Hades. It's Super Giant Games, and I did not play Pyre.
Interesting.
I think that Pyre might be like you play basketball in the afterlife or some nonsense. Very character driven though, sort of like how Hades is.
Interesting.
A lot of
Yeah, I can
dialogue.
see the same art style. Cool. All right. So,
I had fun.
Whoops. There we are. We're back. And you're frozen. Nope, you're back. All right.
I just wasn't moving.
So, Song of the week. Achievement of the week. Let's do achievement of the week first.
I feel like I want to highlight the whole smorgasbord of all 13 achievements in Call of Duty 2. Because if you had played through Call of Duty 2 on any difficulty other than veteran difficulty, you only unlock an achievement called Won the War for finishing the single player campaign. Every other achievement in this game is for, oh, correction. You also get one at the very beginning for completing basic training.
Good job.
But other than those two, every other achievement is tied to the veteran difficulty, with the capstone being War Hardened for finishing the single player campaign on hardened or veteran difficulty setting. But every other one is just level based for finishing this mission on veteran difficulty or finishing that mission on veteran difficulty.
Cool. You heard it here
Great
first.
game.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Well, are you curious about the song of the week?
I'm excited after the show to make you listen to some Katamari Damacy music, but tell me, what is the song of the week for this week?
So it comes from the musical genius that is Toby Fox. Do you know who Toby Fox is?
Oh, we got some Deltarune, new hotness.
Yes. So there is a song. Deltarune has a lot of cool songs. I've not even explored the soundtrack yet, but there is a song that has taken over my brainwaves, and it's called The Third Sanctuary. And to get real musical and nerdy here, the time signature of this song changes, and it's crazy. So, like, it's in like all sorts of crazy time signatures. So, not to get into too much music theory, but most songs are in 4/4 or 3/4. So if it's in 4/4, it's like you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's in 3/4, it's like a waltz. It's like 1, 2, 3, or 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? This song has time signatures of 11/8, 5/4, 9/4, and like other thing. And then at one point it is a 12/8, and then the next measure is 11/8, and they just alternate back and forth. It is like a little bit jarring to listen to because everything, like, all of the notes don't finish where you think that they would. If it was a song that's in 4/4, like, you would think, okay, it goes here and then it'll start over. But it's like in the 9/4, it's one note long. In the 11/8, it's one note too early, and it's just like really crazy. But it is a really cool song. So I hope you guys enjoy it as you are listening on the way out. I'm gonna make.
I am ready. I am ready to be jarred.
I'm gonna make
thank
you listen to it.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for checking out episode 24, allegedly, of Gamer Disclaimer with Meg and Wade. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.